One, and you should be
And,
going.
all right. Welcome back to Oasis Valley Mysteries. Uh, Decided to call this arc Business as Usual. As previously, Hanzo has been having to work with a new partner from Plurpone, an Agent Wakefield, uh, who has actually ended up working with several other members of the group accidentally, as several of you encountered a strange chimera homunculus, something known as a hunter spider, a weird amalgamation of different arachnid species into an enlarged assassin like creation. Something that seemed to have been scuttling around town, picking off people uh, connected to crime and possibly pluripotent. But throughout the danger, Fred, you've had actually a decent time. Your kids are in town. They seem to be enjoying themselves so far. Uh, your son Alex has already made friends with Manny and Rio, the two kids of the waitress at the diner. Uh, your daughter's, seems to be enjoying herself so far. Happy to talk nerdy anime stuff with you. But uh, yeah, oh yeah. Wait, Fred, you discovered you can now change into something new. Had a good time with that, a few nights ago. Um,
I had some fun.
Pranking both Fred and Olivia.
I almost shot her
I
with
had a
a
good
I,
tranquil.
time.
yeah, and also throughout this, you were hunting down or trying to track down a renegade mole tortoise believed to have escaped the confines of the superorganism, possibly due to the vulture's recent interference. Um, well, recent dismantling by both yourselves and Rawhead. Uh, but the jackal lizards that previously had been captured by Hanzo in Wakefield, as well as samples of the Moltortus's passing, or revealed that they were all indeed clones, flash clones even, that had been especially the Moltortus, rapidly grown and released seemingly on this rampage or just set loose, or possibly escaped. But through some detective work and deducing uh, just what would lure a giant, a Volkswagen bus-sized tortoise normally meant for living in the superorganism, you deduce that there were two likely targets: the prickly pear farm and an agave tequila farm, which turns out both were indeed correct, as you had split up, discovering one recently decimated, and the other one where you were summoned as well, Olivia, to find a passed out and revealed to be drunk, or not passed out, but a strangely awake mole tortoise chowing down on agave. As you discovered, it seems to have gotten a little bit drunk, intoxicated. You're not quite sure how, what the proper term would be. I don't even know if turtles can be affected by alcohol, but the it served to cause it to act a little irrationally, charging anyone that came within its bleary eyesight, acting very much like a disgruntled rhino. But this time, rather than a horn, it had a shearing beak that could easily chop you in half. Uh, Something which nearly happened as Olivia decided to go cowgirl and lasso the tortoise with the anesthesia grenade and jump on its back onto its shell. And so, against all odds, it worked. The tortoise was sedated, collapsing to the ground in a deep slumber. As now, that's where we pick up. I believe that's where we left off. You might have been some talking, but I can't remember exactly. Uh,
I'm pretty sure that's exactly where we left.
Yeah.
okay. With it collapsing down, Wakefield's like, okay, I'm gonna go call it in. Get a team out here for securing and transport. And she
You were
glances
sending it
over
to
at
the
the.
preserve, right?
She like pauses as she was like glancing over at the owner who's starting to storm over. And like looks at you as like, no,
Why?
it's going to Player Pond. We have facilities for creatures like this.
Yeah, and our facility is the woman who created has the woman who created cloning,
Right,
How
and
much
we have all of her
information does
techniques that.
and she has all of her techniques in her head.
fine
Okay,
then?
and she like
Understand
walks.
this.
She's like okay, and then she just turns around and starts walking towards her car.
Oh,
You piss pluripotent off, they're not gonna pay for it.
I mean, they did this, so
Yeah, and
Not
the guy hustles over to you, Hanzo, the owner. Uh, he's like, oh, thank goodness you took it down. Now, are you going to get it taken care of? Like, get this moved out? And
Yes.
Johanna, she like calls out. She's like, working on it.
Ray is
Already
good. Ray,
speaking.
damn it. Olivia's gonna follow Johanna.
And she's like, well, pluripotent better. He goes, if you don't want me going to the press, I am going. Pluripotent's definitely going to have to compensate me heavily for this. This is a gestures at the decimated crop that the tortoise is just sprawled in the middle of.
I can
And
see
just
that, sir.
and
Ray,
he's being a cranky guy. So as Johanna starts walking towards her car,
Olivia follows Johanna. Johanna, wait.
what is it, Olivia? We have a job to do.
I mean, who are we call? Are you calling the preserve or are you calling Pluripotent?
And she like kind of glances back at you or at you as she's walking towards the car. She's like, I don't know how that's a question. I work for Pluripotent. I understand what you're saying about the preserve being a good, an ideal location for it. I agree that
Well,
Dr. Lucia or Dr. Fossick would be needed, probably needed to assess it, but they have state of the art, even more advanced equipment at the
Not available to the public.
yeah,
Yeah.
that not even Dr. Fossick has.
Ray, again. Olivia lowers her voice. And what's going to guarantee that they aren't just going to put it down?
You would know sometimes that has to happen.
Yeah, but not in this case.
You're getting through my lines, Hanzo. And she does she like stops at the car, like she hasn't opened it to go for the car phone yet. She's just stops and sighs like this. She goes, I'm trying not to act like no, she wouldn't start it that way. She goes, I think you of all people would know that sometimes that is what needs to happen.
Yeah, and I've done it myself. But it doesn't need to happen in this case.
And I doubt it will. It's sick and okay, I can't promise that will happen. I just have my job to do, Olivia, and so do you.
Listen, I'm trying to work with you because you're Hanzo's partner, and I trust Hanzo, and therefore that extends to you. Alright?
She kind of has this expression that's probably several emotions, just like, there's no like insight check, but you've known people where it's like, why would you trust me because you trust someone I work with? That kind of look. But
it took time for me to trust Hanzo, and he trusts you. So that says something about your character.
Not
sure.
to assassinate my own character, but you do know we were forced to work together, right? And we've split up as pretty much every chance we've got to work solo. So he could go work with you.
Well, then you're going to have to wear that. If you betray that trust, that's on you.
And again, she just sighs and she's like pinches the bridge of her nose.
Johannes, Pluripotent didn't make that turtle. It's not their property.
Well, see, Olivia, that's the thing.
Think
Can't
about
prove that yet.
the good publicity of this poor injured creature being taken by the preserve to be healed, and people getting to go to the preserve and see a turtle there.
Olivia,
Yes.
I kind of agree with you. That sounds like a good idea. Well, I would take my niece and nephew there if there was there. They love this stuff. But
Yeah.
can I just
Go.
say something? I literally have a job. My job right now is to prevent any embarrassment to Pluripotent that I can and to the city. This is a big embarrassment because while we know that it is a cloned organism got loose for who knows what reason yet, but to the public and to people like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? And she looks past you as you hear like tires in the dirt.
God, is it Sheila?
Yes. You see this car pull up and she goes, and people like that. And she like kind of lowers her voice as she's trying not to. But no. Listen. No, Olivia, please, I'm still going.
Okay.
My job right now is I have to report this to Pluripotent. Your job is to report this to the preserve. Your boss probably have a lot more pull than I do.
Good point.
I'm sorry, but I have my job. And part of my job is not talking to you, Sheila. And she opens the door and like goes into her car to like begin calling it in, closing it.
Yeah, Olivia looks back. Do you have a phone? Do you have a car phone? Sheila.
She's like, no, but she goes, no. But Olivia, you know someone who does.
Yeah. I'm gonna run towards Hanzo's car.
You might have to go get his keys real quick, but just
I'm gonna go
Hanzo.
to Hanzo. Hey,
Hanzo, you're basically just having this like basically by the numbers book where he's just like trying to make sure Pluripotent will pay for everything or else he's gonna talk and blah blah blah. And you're just
Olivia just like runs by. Hanzo, toss me your keys.
He doesn't look up from taking taking all the notes this man wants.
Yeah. Yeah, I just imagine it's just Hanzo just doing tic-tac-toe, acting like he's actually taking notes.
No, he is making scribbles. He's writing this stuff in a very fine print.
You can write it in Japanese, so even if you try to look, you want to know. You're just like, this guy smells like onions.
Coincidentally, I just had some.
Do you toss me the keys?
No, he does not, because he is busy talking with a very angry man.
Fine. She'll go into the. She'll go like look at the
There
book.
is like an office. There is like a.
Hey, is there an office phone I could use?
And oh wait, Olivia, you drove there in your truck. You can use your radio.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, I'll go. Then I wouldn't have
because in the car you have like a.
Yeah.
What is it?
It did not occur to me, the player,
radio?
but it certainly occurred to Hanzo. It's like, why aren't you using your fucking radio?
Yeah. What? It's been 2 weeks.
Yes, I know. It's just that's the in-universe thing. It's just Hanzo's like, why are you trying to bum my keys off me?
Yeah, I run to my car, grab the radio.
Yeah,
Hey,
you don't let someone borrow the company car.
Yeah,
hey,
that's a bad look.
Hey, who's on the other end? ASAP.
Okay. No. So you call in. Give me some time there. Jeez.
No, that was her
No, I know,
saying that.
I know, but so there's a few moments of the crackle of static before you hear George, the basically manager of the place. He goes,
Yeah.
"What, Olivia? What's up?"
George, I caught the turtle. We need to get people over here to wheel it to the preserve ASAP.
Wait, like a sulcata or a
What?
he goes like a sulcata or like a regular tortoise, not
no,
kind of grasping.
The tortoise that's been all over the news. The one from the superorganism.
Oh, the mole tortoise.
The mole
Shit.
tortoise, yes. Yeah, Pluripotent's on it. Pluripotent's gonna be on its way to grab it. We need to get there first. And I'm not convinced they're not gonna put it down.
Let me go get Lucia. Oh wait, there she is. Lucia. And there's like a second and she's like, Olivia, what's this about a mole tortoise?
The mole tortoise that's been on the news, haven't you seen it?
Yeah.
I caught it. I wrote its back and got it.
Okay, we can discuss your bad decision makings later in how you at wildlife, but you're telling me you've subdued a mole tortoise.
Yes, she does a quick glance around to make sure Sheila isn't nearby.
No, Sheila is there. She's standing outside, watching you from. You're inside your truck, so she's not listening. But she's starting to go. She's glancing at you as she's starting to go walk around, talk to some of the workers that are just kind of milling about, waiting for this.
She'll give Sheila the 1 minute motion. 1 sec.
And she nods.
This mole tortoise is a clone. It is a fast-grown clone. And it is degrading.
Well,
we need to get it. Hell, we need to get it. We need something to take care of it fast. And I'm not convinced Pluripotent isn't going to put it down. And I don't think that's necessary in this case. It's just lost and hungry.
Okay.
If you need to spin this to Pluripotent, just tell them that we got here first, or they let us take it to nurture the poor thing back to health. It can be, if they're trying to make tourism, let it be a tourist destination at the preserve.
Oh boy. She kind of chuckles at that. It's like...
That sounds like a charm roll.
Yeah, I think that's to manipulate somebody.
No!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes! You'll have to engage with the game, Nora!
That's not my problem. Charm is just my worst stat.
And yet you keep trying to charm people!
I'm not trying to charm anybody!
This is true.
Oh. What?
I got 1!
Well, you get to mark experience.
You see, Nora, it was all in your best interest. I got you a point of experience. You're welcome.
Even as the DM, I'm kind of a little disappointed.
Wow.
Fuck it. I'm gonna use a luck point.
Wow.
Don't!
Yes! I will save this fucking turtle!
What do your luck points do? Like the repercussion?
When you mark luck, you trigger your playbook's luck special. You discover something happening now is related to something you were involved in years ago.
Oh.
That's not a consequence. How come I get consequences?
This is all related to your time in the Turtle Club.
I'll have to decide what that is in a bit because
Yeah,
This is all related to your time in the Turtle Club, and now a wild Dana Carvey will be hunting you down.
oh no, not Dana Carvey.
I can't believe Olivia's a turtle scaly.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, okay, no. Does anybody remember Giant Husband?
Can't say I do.
I remember Giant Husband and Tiny Wife.
Oh, yes,
How can I forget? How can I forget?
The joke that the first time a Nora character was in a straight relationship, of course, it's with Gamera.
Right. Yes, that one.
So, anyways, you're going to use a luck point to make that a success. Okay.
Yes, I must save Turtle.
All right. That will be a person you can't save later.
Look, that person with my rolls, that person is going to be me.
What if it's somebody else, Nora?
That will be
Me.
I'm just amused by how shocked the guy's face on the failure card is.
Yeah.
That is the face you make right before something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, that's the face you make before a flashlight goes off in your face.
DZ, we'll slit that throat when we get there.
Yeah. So she's like, there's like this long pause that you're a little worried about before she goes. There is probably a way we could spin this. It would be a big draw to get tourism eyes, and Kieran was bugging me about making the preserve more tourist friendly, so fuck it, I'll give my brothers a call, both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Don't think we have the truck or like a truck to carry that, so we're definitely going to have to work with Pluripotent on this, but if I can convince them, we can make this collaborative thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want this poor thing to die. It's been suffering. Oh, sorry, go ahead. It doesn't deserve to have its life ended so soon.
Okay. And I agree with you. I'm gonna go make those calls. This is something I need to call in quick. Oh boy. Wasn't expecting to talk to either of them today.
So tired.
I owe you one.
You do.
Yes. I think we've stopped keeping track of who owes who, Olivia.
I mean, yeah, but
good work.
Thank you. And I appreciate this.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to George if you need anything. I gotta go make some calls.
Alrighty. I really did just use a luck point to save Turtle.
Yes. This will be remembered.
Yeah, Carlos, that is something that will need to be done. That's partly why she said it's going to need to be a collaborative effort between Preserve and Pluripotent, because they're going to need to make a new enclosure.
Yeah. Look,
it's not like they've had a Moltortis enclosure waiting.
It takes a lot of funds to make an enclosure for a Marquis shovel mouth.
If Olivia was sure Pluripotent would just take it and save it and put it back in the superorganism, she'd be fine. But she's not.
Right.
So you assume we're just all psychopaths over here?
Not you.
Okay.
Pluripotent.
That was a generic Pluripotent talking.
Oh.
Yeah. Well.
No, but you're a capitalist.
You aren't.
No.
So okay, Olivia, while you're making that call, Hanzo, you are finally able to get away from this guy who gets distracted, shouting orders at the rest of the workers like, well, you can work around the thing. Get to it. And everyone's just like, seriously? This guy's... Yeah, speaking of capitalists, this guy's a dick. Mm-hmm. But you are able to step aside and meet with Johanna, who leaves her car, and she's like shooting daggers at, glaring daggers at Sheila, who's starting to talk to some of the people around there. But Johanna joins you. She's like, oh, well, her opponent's coming. Olivia's being a pain, good-natured, but still a pain. And, of course, Sheila's here.
Indeed.
And she looks at her watch. She's like, and it's not even noon yet. So, we definitely gotta talk to people here. Make sure they don't. You gotta talk to Sheila. I gotta talk to her again. Damn it. And then she looks to you and goes, looks like he was tearing you a new one, even though really, how'd you handle it? She seems getting really annoyed.
In response to tearing me a new one, as is often the recourse of pathetic men.
Yeah, no, just like, she doesn't actually hear it, but just from over my truck.
Yeah, it's like, she was just like, no, she goes, the tequila's not bad, but wow, they need someone new to take over. And she kind of laughs, and then she goes, honestly, if they were smart, they'd do a little bit of rebranding and slap a tortoise on the label.
That would be amusing, yes. That's the sort of charming thing that gets people interested in your brand.
So,
I imagine Olivia insisted upon the preserve acting instead of pluripotent.
Yes, and I assume that's who she's chattering away with over her radio. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
And there's just like a muted maniacal laughter.
Yeah, and Olivia or Johanna kind of like pauses at that, kind of quirks an eyebrow, and then shakes her head.
Not literally maniacal laughter, just like a successful fist pump.
And she would just go. I mean, like I said, being a pain, a good-natured pain, though.
Good intentions do not matter to our superiors.
That's what I tried to tell her, and I really don't know if she got it any more than if you've tried to tell her that.
No. For some people, doing the right thing is all that matters. And in an ideal world, that is all that should matter.
And honestly, the world needs people like that, and then the world needs people like us.
Unfortunately.
But rather than getting all philosophical, let's do a little bit of crowd control.
Right.
She sighs at me. She's like, Olivia will probably take things better from you, but can you go warn her not to just straight up give Sheila an interview, like, immediately? This is going to be messy, and she's already... Clarpum's already pissed at her. And that means we gotta talk to her.
Mm-hmm. I'll do so.
Okay. So, Wakefield nods and goes and starts kind of chatting to some of the foremen and some of the workers, just kind of spreading the word. It's, doing damage control.
Mm-hmm.
Saying it's like, please don't talk to anyone about this until we can get things situated. You'll be compensated, blah, blah, blah. The typical corporate spiel about keeping quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Olivia, you could...
Yeah.
You see Hanzo approaching as you pretty much finish up, and Sheila's also walking up.
All right. Oh, look between the two. Oh, this is awkward.
Oh, Agent Hanzo, good morning. You've been busy.
That's how I earn my pay.
I just rushed over here after seeing the damage at the Prickly Pear farm. Can't believe they were. Can't believe they that tip was right.
Tip?
This is an unusual situation, yes, but for now we have a handle on it.
Can I quote you on that?
No.
Not. And when you ask Tip, she looks to you, Olivia. She goes, "Yeah, about an hour ago, someone called in. Called me specifically and said that big story happening down at these two farms, Cactus and an Agave farm. Something about loose wildlife running it rampant. Wouldn't give their name or anything. Came from what I can tell, a public line, but anonymous tip turned out to be correct.
How long ago was it?
About an hour ago or more.
An hour ago. That would have been after the Moltorus got here and while it was asleep, right?
That was before you or Hanzo were alerted to the incident here. So it could have been a worker, but the fact it was both locations.
Yeah, that's true, because they didn't know it would be at the others. That's weird.
Honestly, Olivia, I thought it might have been you having someone call it in for you, but
nah,
you're not exactly good at a poker face when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I don't think it was you.
Can I speak with you, Olivia?
All right.
Oh, that's a code for get away. Let me go talk to these fine gentlemen for a bit.
Olivia shrugs.
She turns and goes to start talking to some other people, like gathering quotes and stuff.
What's that about?
It's a race against time between the reporter and the corporate agent.
Yeah, what's that about, Hanzo?
What she said.
She thought it was me?
Possibility of concerned citizen aside. It could be whoever let these things loose.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
They're trying to make this go public
as
fast as possible.
They want pluripotent in a bad state, and don't get me wrong. You know how my feelings are, but if they're flash cloning organisms,
as I told Agent Wakefield earlier, by shaking the public's faith in pluripotent, competitors might rise up, and we already know the designs of certain competitors would not be for the public interest.
Rather the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Exactly. At the end of the day, pluripotent is like any other company.
They want to make money.
I don't trust what's waiting in the wings.
So, I think it could be, simulacra, right?
Possibly. If it is tied to them, I imagine they're working through agents.
Proxies. Yeah.
Proxies. They wouldn't want to directly tie themselves to this.
Definitely not.
And that is why, exactly, if our enemies want to discredit pluripotent, we must do what we can with this situation to salvage the company's reputation.
I hear you. I get what you're saying. I just bought you some good publicity.
The possibility of it. We do not know what our superiors will agree upon.
I talked to Lucille. she's talking to her brothers.
And we
I
don't
think we
know
know where
yet
that's
how
going to
that's
go.
going to pan out.
I'm pretty sure I do.
You said Lucille, I'm sorry, and I just imagined Lucille Bluth, and it's like, no, you don't want her as a boss.
Who?
The mom
Arrested
from
Development.
Arrested Development, the matriarch, she's the
Oh
worst.
god, I've never seen that show.
It's really good, honestly.
It's good.
It's got it's a 2000s era comedy, so prepare yourself for things that are common in 2000s era comedies. But
Yeah, some of it hasn't
very
aged
good.
too well and was kind of cringy in the first place, but it was still very good written comedy for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
I think she's gonna be able to convince them. It is a good look for Pluripotent to let this poor injured creature get taken by the preserve and nurtured back to health.
If that is what you believe.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not. It's a flesh clone. I think that gives Pluripotent even less reason to keep it alive.
Yeah, Hanzo, probably best you don't mention seeing the specimen jars with the flash clone jackal lizards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that would just sort of like that. She wouldn't be mad at you. It would be, oh, I must now fight this person.
Yeah, especially if you told her who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's going to be interesting if Hanzo ever reveals Dr. Pastu's still alive.
Well, not just alive, but
Pluripotent.
employed at Pluripotent.
Yeah, we knew she was
Yeah.
alive. Hanzo got Pluripotent to take her, and Olivia wasn't like super happy about that, but understood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but like
no.
other people were ready to fucking torture her, and Olivia was like, "Whoa, hey, what the fuck?"
But yeah, no. He's going to make a point. Understand that if we do not, if me and Wakefield do not impress our superiors, the only reason I have been able to work with you and the others is because I have delivered results. If we continue to be showed up, more restrictions, more people will be tied to this, and that puts the rest of you in danger.
Look, Hanzo, they know we're about. Whoever, if this is Simulacra, they know we're out and about doing things.
I'm more worried about Pluripotent also putting you on a concerned watch list.
She isn't already.
If you aren't already.
Yeah. If I'm not already, Hanzo, I've been vocally not the biggest fan of Pluripotent.
I like to think that Hanzo and Olivia both said, if you're not on it already.
Yeah! I've been vocally not their biggest fan.
Yes, and the louder you cry, the sooner they will have to address you.
And you do work for the runaway princess, as it were.
Yeah, yeah, Hanzo. I work for Lucille. I'm pretty. If not everyone in the preserve is on their list, I especially am. I'm not. If I don't work with her the most, I imagine, but I am probably the closest one with her.
So, hope you don't mind me interrupting. This seems kind of intense, but you see Sheila kind of stepping forward. She glances over. You see again Johanna shooting daggers at her, glaring at her as she's talking to someone else, like glaring over this guy's shoulder as she's talking to him. And she was just like, I feel safer if I'm talking to you because then I'm not isolated from her. Feels like I'm being hunted by a shark.
Sheila, what's up?
Hanzo, do you mind if I talk to Olivia alone?
Oh my god! Olivia's just like looking, like face, just like.
Yeah, Sheila can be a little petty. You've known this.
Yeah. She's not the biggest fan of Sheila, but like.
You've started to develop a bit of a professional respect But
yeah, because we have similar
it's
goals.
it's
You will
easy to
sim-
dislike people who are very similar to you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He will simply tell you, Olivia, remember what I said.
I know.
Ominous.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, Olivia,
Sheila.
how you really are very well informed for an animal control, and I don't mean that as like an insult. I'm impressed. You always seem to show up whenever
mean,
there's something weird like this.
it's
I mean,
it's my job, and I've
well,
kind of
yes,
become the specialist in this particular field,
yes,
or at
and
least
you're all, and
as close as one can be.
well, yeah, and I've already made this observation. You're always hanging around Hanzo, so I know that he must have some respect for you. But this Wakefield, this
Yeah.
bitch has been giving me so much grief, Olivia. She like leans in and says this conspiratorial whisper.
To be fair, you are kind of stepping. Well, no, you're dancing on her toes.
Yes, but having her show up to like talk to me as I'm leaving my apartment, that's getting a little intense, you know?
Wait, what? What?
Yeah, did I tell you that? Um, after I posted the article, after the article came about the first appearance of Big Boy there, Big Girl. No,
Don't know
you have
yet.
to tell me so for the article, for the eventual article. But the it's woke up the next day, ready to go to work, and she was there waiting by my car to, say, warn me about how pluripotent's an important pillar of the community, and by embarrassing them, you're threatening the future of the city. Felt like she was quoting a script, honestly, but I got the message. It was a script sent by pluripotent.
Hey, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and quoted the whole freedom of the press thing, and she said, "Oh, I'm, perfectly free to write what we write, and everyone's perfectly free to feel about what we write." Don't know if that was a threat or just someone trying to act smart. But really, though, I'm really interested about who sent that tip.
Yeah, that actually is kind of concerning me. Because putting that timeline together, that's before even I knew it was happening.
Yeah, and it's unlikely that these two competing farms, one almost corporately owned tequila farm and the other a little local cactus farm. It's probably not a lot of contact between them except for maybe some of the workers, but still, it's curious.
Weird.
But you know what the weirdest part it is for me though?
What?
And she kind of leans forward and like looks back at the other two, the two agents, Hanzo and Wakefield, and then back to you,
Yeah.
and she goes, "I feel like I'm being set up."
Shut up?
I mean, think about it. Pluripotent's upset at me for writing this article, and now today I get basically the perfect tip to continue that article to say if I wanted to write it in a way that embarrasses Pluripotent, I could. This is bad. But I mean, it could also. It's just.
No.
It feels like I'm being set up to make the choice of either I write good about Pluripotent and they're satisfied, or I write the truth, and you know what happens to reporters that piss off corporations? They don't have a good life expectancy. Not that I'm afraid. It's just that's what it really feels like, Olivia. Not to sound like a paranoid person, but a paranoid person is paranoid
Hey.
when they have people after their life.
No, I hear you. See,
Not to be dumping this all on you, but you're probably one of the few people who would understand the complexity of this. You know what I mean?
no, I do. I
I mean,
I
I
don't
could
think
be overthinking this. I'll admit that, but
Sheila. I don't think pluripotent is setting you up, but I think someone might be trying to take advantage of you.
that doesn't make me any happier.
Oh, I know, but I mean, you want the truth or not?
I mean, I'm a reporter. It's what I do. So,
I think
someone die?
who's dying?
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
You're right.
Oh, look, we neither of us are the biggest fans of pluripotent, obviously, but
And they do some good. They have made some pretty remarkable medicine.
yeah, no, look, I'm not their biggest fan, but even I've benefited from their medical research.
Mhm. So,
But if someone's trying to make them look bad, they're putting people at risk.
sorry, out of character. Are you referring to pluripotent or who you think this
Like the third party here.
the third party? Okay.
Yeah.
And she went on. She goes, if I had to guess, it's probably another competitor, someone that would have the same. Wait, did you mention that it was flash cloned?
No, I didn't tell her.
Okay. She would go, oh, then she wouldn't have reason to say this.
I mean,
Okay.
so is clone like the fact that cloning is a thing like known generally?
Oh, yeah. I mean, cloning is one of the big.
Oh wait, yeah. Now what am I talking
The
about?
preserve,
That's literally
yeah.
the preserve.
Yeah.
Sheila, this. Don't put it in your article, all right?
Off the record.
Off the record. Swear to me.
Just for fun. Roll manipulate again.
What? No.
You want them to do what you say.
You're about. She gets the feeling you might reveal something juicy.
Yeah, you're telling a reporter, hey, keep a secret.
Are you rolling? Roll 20?
There's always a delay when you roll for some reason. But oh no.
You want to spend another luck point?
No, hold on. Hold on.
Wow.
What's the... I should just not talk to people.
Oh.
Me at work be like,
Or you need to start putting points into charm.
I should just not talk to people.
Well, I feel bad because it's like asking if this was probably a mistake calling for the role because she wouldn't really say no. Or, what was the question?
You need to promise not to
Oh, right.
share.
You know what? You get the sympathy plot leniency.
No,
And-
Safa. Let him punish her.
Okay. All right, shoulder devil.
This is a horror story. Bad things happen to her.
Yeah, and she was just kind of, Olivia, I can't really make that promise. If it's like something significant, but I'll take it under consideration. What do you got?
Olivia just kind of like, study her for a second.
You see a woman who, as long as you've known her, has been dedicated to getting the truth out to people and kind of uncovering what people don't want to be while also holding people accountable. She's kind of like she tries to be like a good reporter.
Yeah.
Even if that can be frustrating and annoying for the people you work for.
Yeah, but like we have the similar dislike for the same people.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trusting you. I think that that mole tortoise was cloned. Not by pluripotent, because I mean, like, what have they got to gain?
Yeah. Wait. Are you implying this mole tortoise was set loose on purpose?
Maybe. Honestly, if I had to guess, whoever is trying to set you up also set this up. And between the tortoise and you, it's exactly what they want. To make pluripotent look bad, get your eyes on it, and get that out.
Well, that would definitely frustrate me if I were turned out I actually was being used as a tool for corporate espionage.
Yeah, that's what I think's going on here.
So you think it might have been? I mean, there are several competitor companies that might be able to. I mean, I've heard of. I mean, there's all kinds of stories about organisms being created and deployed in battlefields across the world. You know, the shadowy things are people being killed in strange, inexplicable ways by what they say look like strange animal attacks.
Olivia Banana Cat faces.
And I mean, you read some of these like forums online, and some of these people are talking about some crazy stuff. Like apparently, some warlord wannabe dictator got taken out by what witnesses claimed was a giant pale scorpion that climbed on the ceiling and jumped at him like a
scorpionite?
No, they didn't describe it as that. From what they said, it was. Yeah,
Alien would have come out by now. So.
Oh yeah. She goes. They honestly described it as like a face hugger.
Like, wait, from Alien?
Someone made a face hugger from Aliens and gave it a scorpion stinger. Apparently, is what eyewitnesses said. But
that's just the point. Oh, I guess it gives it a point.
Quite literally, that's what a stinger.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
But no, no, it's just a lot of weird stories coming from around the world about these strange creatures showing up where they shouldn't. And a lot of the rumors suggest that pluripotent was the source of it all. Once their technology got out, other people started to pick it up and started to make use of their knowledge, or even some people suggest pluripotent's a player in that, that field as well.
I don't know enough in that field to say. I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
And honestly, like the Vultures, I know you were involved with them recently, with their whole thing recently. But I don't know if she would know that you were involved, but she got like the vultures that got exposed recently, and like it was believed a lot of their customers were these different biotech companies purchasing endofauna to do their own research, illegally.
Yeah. Can't just let these poor things live.
Not when there can be money made from them.
Yeah. I know that's what Pluripotent's doing here, but...
Speak of the devil, as you hear the rumbling of a diesel engine and a heavy, large engine and a crunch of tires as you look over and see several trucks show up. The pluripotent label slapped on the sides. This looks like a... Hanzo, you would recognize them as the containment teams or the recovery teams. Like when you gooped up the macro swarm.
Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us like Pluripotent, but at least we know what Pluripotent's doing. And
Or we know most of what they're doing, at least.
Yeah,
I hope.
Yeah. We know. Have you heard the saying, the devil you know versus the devil you don't?
Well, of course.
I think we let you
Either way, still making a deal with the devil.
Yeah. Look, we don't need to make a deal in this case, but...
You literally did, though.
Oh.
You're collaborating with the devil.
Hey, Sheila is not the devil.
I was referring to the whole business arrangement you were trying to set up.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you were referring to she's working with Hanzo.
I'm not that evil. I am I am pretty evil.
She's just a representative of the company.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
so Sheila.
I think a third party is trying to make Pluripotent look bad so they can muscle in here. And they're using you to help do that.
It does. I hate to say it, but that does sound like a viable theory. But like I said, I'm paranoid, and I think you might be a little too.
Probably. I'd say for now, if you're okay with it, keep some things closer to the chest until this blows over.
Oh, of course.
I've
Good
got,
reporter holds the juicy bits just in case you need to build something up later.
I've got something you can report, though.
My wrestling match.
I was going to ask.
No,
I am newsworthy.
If it works, you'll get to be able to print the story first.
I've already kind of called dibs. I was first on the scene.
I'm trying to get the mole tortoise taken to the preserve, where it can be taken care of and rehabilitated. Now,
all right, Dr. Lucia. If this is a clone, she did invent cloning, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that's my thought as well.
Now, what if it's her doing it to disgrace her brothers?
Nah, she wouldn't put the animals at risk like that. Or the
no, I know that's I know that's why
maybe
I was
your
making
boss is
joke.
actually evil.
No,
you just never knew it.
No.
I mean, you played my other game. You know my propensity for evil women.
Everyone loves an evil woman.
No evil women here.
Women's rights and women's wrongs, especially the wrongs.
That feels so right. I mean, what?
Yeah.
But anyways, Sheila, she's just Well, keep me in the loop. I will keep you as well if something relevant crops up.
If you get another tip like that, try and get more info if you can.
Oh, well, of course.
Well, yeah, you know, yeah, but like try and fish for anything else they got.
Hmm. So, well, I need to continue my rounds, and
Yeah. And Sheila,
Hmm.
you stay safe. If there's people trying to take advantage of you, be careful.
Of course.
If you need a place I mean, I don't want to scare you, but I think you've already scared yourself. If you need to tuck and hide somewhere, I have a panic room with preserve.
Oh, what you say to all the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. There's a pause. Just two. You'd be the third.
Okay. You turn that around on me. Good on you. Okay.
She grins.
So,
Yeah, she's gonna jog over to Hanzo.
yeah, she was going to go back to questioning people.
Hey, Hanzo.
Mm.
Yeah, Hanzo, you've been coordinating with the retrieval teams. They're going up, checking vitals of they were, like you're standing over there by the tortoise now. They're checking the vitals of it, making sure it remains sedated, because they brought some people who are familiar with handling mole tortoises.
Yeah, she'll call over to them. Make sure you save that last time. It's mine.
Yeah, they already removed it and set it aside.
All right. Is Wakefield with Hanzo, or?
No, she's talking to some other people.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'll get to the rest
Hanzo?
of the group soon.
There's some weird shit going on.
There always is.
No, yeah, but Sheila got a call.
Wyatt sneezes in the distance.
She got a tip before any of us knew what had happened. Before either business could have known what had happened. People are trying to set her up to fuck with Pluripotent.
Mm.
I told her that I think the mole tortoise is a clone. I didn't tell her that I knew it was a Flash clone. But I still did tell her that I think it was a clone. But but we did both land on this endpoint together that we think someone's trying to use her to make Pluripotent look bad. So also, fucking Wakefield went to her house.
Mm.
That's out of line. I know your guys are spooks or whatever, but that's out of line, Hanzo.
Yes. And
I'm gonna say something to her if you don't.
what could I possibly say to her?
Fair enough.
It probably came on from on high. So so you're smart enough to know that maybe she didn't want to do it. I've spent enough time with Wakefield to know she's generally on the level.
Yeah. I've not gotten the worst vibe from her. I don't like this, Hanzo. People are playing games.
Like I said, they always are. This is not an easy job.
Yeah, but like, I can suplex the monster. I can't suplex corporate espionage.
Welcome
Not
to my
yet.
world.
Not with that attitude.
Note to self: somehow suplex corporate espionage. Fuck. Wakefield.
Sorry, I was taking a drink. she looks over from where she was talking to one of the medics, like the
Hey.
one of the team.
Hey.
What's your boss say?
She's talking to her brothers.
I don't know. That'll be interesting.
But I also talked to Sheila.
Uh-huh.
Well, she came to me, and I heard that you went to her house and nearly
I didn't
threatened
ask her to coffee. If that's what you're worried about.
her. You threatened her.
She kind of waves off the person who is kind of like waiting to like resume their conversation,
Yeah.
and she looks to you. She goes, "Is that what she said?"
No, but I can read between the lines. She said you warned her about making Pluripotent look bad.
Maybe I should have been a little more clear. Yes, that is basically what I said.
And
But-
they're to the town.
And also a major contributor to the major, what's the word? This isn't her. This is me blanking on the word. People who pay for a program.
Donor.
Like,
Donor.
yeah,
Contributor, donor.
yeah, major donor and contributor to the very public news service she works for.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but that comes across as a threat.
I mean, do you want me to deny that it wasn't?
I just. She rubs her
You're a big
forehead.
girl, Olivia. I'm going to be truthful with you. Yes, part of my job is sometimes threats are a useful tool. I know you and Hanzo know that.
I get it. Yeah, I know. I know he's done the same thing. Just.
Like read the report on how you all acquired Dr. Apostu. Some big gaps on that.
I wasn't a fan of that either.
Oh no, she's horrendous.
What happened to her?
Not enjoy meeting her.
You met her?
She kind of gets this look of like, fuck. Briefly.
Where at? I guess wherever Pluripotent shoved her.
When she was first apprehended, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you literally gave the perfect excuse when you said that, Olivia. She goes, I mean, exactly. They shoved her, you know. She doesn't elaborate beyond that. What?
Where did they shove her?
Am I supposed to tell you that? Someone who's outside of the company?
Yeah, she's like, do you work for Pluripotent in a high enough clearance level for me to tell you that?
No, but I work close enough around all this weird shit that I could make Pluripotent's day very bad.
Now, see, I know a threat when I hear one too, Olivia.
Yeah, you do. I'm trying to help Pluripotent right now. Because I've made my feelings clear. Pluripotent knows my feelings.
Yes,
Sure, you've heard.
so I've heard from Hanzo.
Yeah, Hanzo knows. Like I said, I'm putting some.
But
I'm putting
we trust your judgment enough to continue to work with you. I don't know what this whole ordeal is, but
my
Olivia,
point is,
yes, please. What is the point?
I think there's a third-party corporation involved in all this, trying to make Pluripotent look bad and then muscle in. And you going to the woman who isn't, obviously, is not a part of it, but could be very easily manipulated into making Pluripotent look bad, and then threatening her, is only going to make this worse.
Thank you for your input.
Are you being sarcastic?
No. That is an interesting theory, and from what I've seen, there's a possibility of that being the case among several other possibilities. It's just,
Right.
like I said, Olivia, as you followed me to my car, we have our specific jobs.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I have had the same conflict with Hanzo.
And Olivia,
Yeah.
she kind of like takes a step closer. I don't want to be your enemy. Please don't make me your enemy. It is out of professional respect to Hanzo, who seems to trust you, that I have not gone through Pluripotent or the Preserve or whoever I need to keep you from interfering. Because, like I said, Hanzo trusts you and you seem to get results.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going, nope, Olivia, I don't think we are going to be friends, but we can be people who work together if we need to. If you can just respect me that there are things I must do for my job, I will respect you enough to give you space.
Olivia gives a nod. So I'm sorry. You know what? Yeah. No, you're right. This shit's just got me stressed in a way I'm not used to. I'll take that. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me,
I
have so much to do. He
do
kind of gives
have
this like a rueful laugh.
something that might be useful to you.
And that is,
Sign of good faith, goodwill, working relationship, and all that. Maybe friends, maybe not, whatever. Somebody sent a tip that this was happening before either of us knew.
that's how Sheila arrived so soon.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you for
Someone's
that
playing
detail.
sides. Someone's playing games. And if things continue down this way, something's gonna give.
Well, let me tell you something I learned long ago before I even worked at Plurpump. Someone told me this. When you realize that you're in a rigged game, but you don't know the outcome, continue to play along a bit until you can see the big picture. Then you can flip the board.
I like that.
And she's just like, now if you'll excuse me,
Look,
you both have work to do.
Extend a hand.
There is a definite pause before she does reach out and, shake your hand before going, excuse me, Olivia.
Yeah. I gotta head back to the preserve.
Mm-hmm. Hanzo, is there? It's pretty much just by the books stuff of just like recovery and stuff. You don't really need to stick around. Wakefield says she can handle the rest of this. If she's gonna just like get, actually, the two of you stay a bit and get them caught up to team recovery, and they know that they're going to be moving it to a medical center before, for the moment where they can get it, treatment and stuff, immediate medical treatment and stuff before. And there is a call that does come in saying that there is to stand by for further instructions on where the location and might end up from there.
Very well.
So there might be some discussions going on if you want to inform Olivia of that, but seems there might be wheels in motion.
Yes. I have nothing else to contribute to the scene.
Okay. So you have secured the mole tortoise. Hurrah.
Da-da-da-da.
So while that was going on, Winifred, you're asleep. It's the morning.
Pretty much.
Well, it's getting closer to the afternoon by now. Oh shoot. Okay, nothing still. Fred, previously, Alex asked if they could go to the diner for lunch, not dinner. Because he was hoping to maybe hang out with the other kids.
Oh, of course.
So, around the lunchtime period, Carlos, you're helping out, I assume, or what would Carlos be doing?
That's a good question. I would say Carlos has taken the quote-unquote day off, and he is, as far as any paperwork would be concerned, helping out getting the ride ready for its renovations.
Okay.
What's really happening is he's sitting in the dark with a hole in his leg going, "This fucking sucks."
A hole in his leg? Oh, from the
stinger.
Yep, that's right. Oh, that's right. You
I got to critical, I got out of critical, but I still technically have 3 wounds, so I am recovering.
Yeah, you got envenomed. I mean, they treated you for that, but yeah, that still knocked you on your ass for the day. That's right.
One does not
Tommy?
simply walk off a stinger the size of your hand.
It wasn't that bad. It's more like getting stabbed by someone's pinky, but still. So, Tommy, you're able to walk it off a little bit better. Just thanks to your beastly, monstrous nature. It still sucks, it's still like bruising and cramping and pain, but you're not laid up in bed like Carlos is.
Poor old Carlos.
Hey, look,
But
he's just a guy.
Carlos, I can't remember. Is there like a use magic where you can heal a harm? You could try that. I can't remember. Wait, I can just look. Use magic. You can inflict harm. No, but does heal 1 harm from an injury, cure disease, or neutralize a poison. So if you need to later on, if you don't have the anti venom, you would be able to neutralize that with a successful use magic. Especially now that you know what to look for.
Okay.
So if you want, you could do a little experimental home magic surgery.
Not at this
Cauterize the
time.
wound.
I'm just gonna say he's bandaging it up, and he's just doing hand tinkering and getting things prepped.
Okay. So, Tommy,
Yep.
Would you have gone back? Would you have been chilling at your place after a rough night like that, or would you have, go hang out at the diner? Want to make
Oh,
sure everyone.
100% chilling.
Okay. So, we'll get to you in a little bit, Tommy. Fred, you and your kids. You show up at the diner. Sure enough, the kids are there, and they're eager to. They look like they're doing homework, sitting at a booth, and Alex runs over to talk to them, and uh, but blah, 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 blah. Carlos, you hear that he's taking it easy, or he's working on the ride, and when Alex hears that, he perks up. He goes, "Wait, ride? There's a ride here?"
Oh yeah, Carlos has a whole sort of theme park, I guess you could call it.
And Carla, the mother of the twins, she kind of laughs and she's like taking your orders. She goes, he's it's not ready yet, but he's working hard on it. Hopefully it'll be in a state that you can check it out before you leave." And she kind of goes, "Honestly, you could probably get Carlos to give you a sneak peek if you ask him real nice next time you see him." And Alex seems excited about that idea. Especially once he hears that it's a superorganism themed ride. But
Not my fault this time.
So, yeah, yeah, Fred, if you wanted to chat with your kids, you can, but I was just going to say you have a nice lunch with them. Alex pretty much scarfing his foods fast so he could go play with the other kids. You told him he has to eat his lunch before he goes play.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to. Oh, right. But you're just hanging out with your daughter. She orders a milkshake because I think I remember Carlos's place has a milkshake machine.
We would never come
I
up
mean,
with a full
every good
menu,
diner does.
but yeah.
So yeah, she's just like, place is pretty cool. Alex really seems to like those kids. Daughter's trying to make small talk. It's just, teenage girl trying to talk to her dad.
So is there something you'd like to do, sweetie?
Actually, if you could, well, I mean, I have my learner's permit. If you want to try, take the, what's your car called? The classic.
Classic. Yeah. And we can take the classic out for a spin.
Mom said if you were going to teach me to drive, that I should not drive that death trap. But why not?
It's what we got here, so.
It's either that or the motorcycle, and I don't think she's going to like that. But
Look at it this way, kid. If you can handle the classic, you can handle anything.
But she's like, I mean, it would be pretty cool if you taught me how to ride a motorcycle. And then she's like, honestly, did not expect you to learn how to ride a motorcycle, but
no one said your mom has to know that you learned how to ride a motorcycle.
Very true. And you're having this fun talk with your daughter when you hear the bell of the door jingle as it swings open, and you just kind of glance over reflexively, see who it is, and you have to do a double take as you see a early 20s young man step in, Japanese heritage, someone you recognize one of the last times you saw him was dead on the ground in the middle of a field as a flaming cautious spirit was bound to his empty body. As you see
Oh.
Soda Karada step in and kind of glance around, looking around. And he spots you, and there's this moment of realization, and he kind of gives a wave and goes, "Oh, hey, Mr. Fred."
Oh, hey. The last name's Klutzman. Nice to see you, kid.
Oh, yes, Mr. Klessman. And Tiffany looks at him curiously, like, "Who's this?" But he goes, so, "Don't mean to interrupt. It's just, have you seen Carlos? Is he in today?"
I haven't seen him today, no.
Okay.
For the record, you can always show up at the ride when he's not at the diner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Fred, you heard Carlos say that he was working on the ride.
If you want, he's out back working on the ride. You could probably just go and chat with him there if you need.
Oh, perfect. Though I am going to come back for lunch. I didn't realize how hungry I was until I walked in and smelled everything. And he turns around and heads out. And Tiffany looks to you like, "Who's that?"
Just a kid I know lives around here. You know, it's a small town. It's kind of hard not to know everybody after a point.
Okay. She nods, seeming to accept that, and goes back to talking about wanting to learn how to drive and like wanting to visit like the mall and stuff. You know, just things she'd like to do while there. She does say it's like you probably don't want to do this, but I would like to maybe try hiking sometime. You know, before it gets too hot.
Yeah. You know, do you want to hike at the nature preserve? There's a lot of good places to get some good exercise out there, and it's pretty well traveled.
I wonder why he's worried about that.
She goes, "Okay. I mean, you said we were going to go there with Alex because he's been really excited to see that sometime soon. But okay. So you continue to just have this chat with your daughter, you know, having milkshakes. Carlos, you hear a knock at the door for the ride. And then a voice.
He'll answer it. He's not in the usual get up, got like a couple of banders around, got like the tank top on. He has been working out on the ride. That's where he goes to be grumpy.
So when you open the door, you see standing before you Soda Karada. He goes, "Oh, hey, Carlos. There you are. I hope you don't mind. They said I could just come out and talk to you here."
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm doing working on trying to get this up and running. Come on in.
And so he'll follow you in, and he seems normal. Like he looks perfectly healthy. You know, he just steps in and looks around. And he goes, "I think I remember this place when it was previous owner."
Oh yeah, it was like Wild West themed. Never did find out whatever happened to the old whatchamacallit. Like they had like this like gunslingers guns on display or something at one point.
Yeah.
But some hooligans got in before I bought the property and took it, so.
Oh yeah, probably. Probably in a box in someone's garage or attic.
Oh yeah.
So
The psychic damage you just did to Olivia?
he goes, kind of hesitates as he's like trying to think of how to. He goes, "So that whole thing that happened," makes a vague motion.
Yeah. It happened.
Yeah,
holding up?
and okay for the most part. Nightmares haven't been fun, but I
They'll
figure
get
that's like any PTS or any like I don't know if PTSD as a trauma was known back then, but that's trauma, I guess, shell shock.
Oh yeah,
But
you'll get that for a few years.
like I remember, and he kind of gives this like shuddering sigh. He goes, "The most frequent one is I remember getting shot and dying, but or bleeding out." Kind of
Oh yeah,
settles the.
that is certified grade A, just normal trauma. If it makes you feel any better.
Yeah, and I get that, and I understand. It's like, oh, how'd the joke go? Death, like any life-altering event, changes a person, but um, kind of the other dreams that I'm a little more worried about, and I figure you might be the one I should talk to.
Yeah, of course. What's up? What's going on?
So you and Hanzo and Connor explained it to me about what the kasha was and how it's, I guess, what's keeping me alive. Um,
Yeah and no.
it kind of, I think it's trying to talk to me.
Oh, that's usually not good. What's it trying to tell you?
I don't know. It's hard to describe the dreams. It's like,
I don't know. I don't speak Japanese.
I mean, he is Japanese, or he's Japanese American. He knows Japanese. He actually
Does he speak hell Japanese though?
Yeah. But no, he's just, it's like it's trying to say something to me and I just can't hear it over the roar of flames. That's the thing. I dream of nothing. I dream of fire when it tries to talk. It's like, when you have a campfire and you hear the crackling of a log, it's like that's its voice. I just can't make out the words. And I don't think it's happy, but kind of
Oh,
shrug.
it's probably not happy, to be fair. Would you be happy if you got shoved into the body of a child and trapped potentially forever?
Well, I would take a little bit of offense at the term child. I'm 21, but yeah, I
And
get
I
what you mean.
looks at him, and I'm 89. You're a
He
kid is.
squints at you. He's like, I thought you were like,
I'm a wizard, dear boy.
you're using magic. So, okay, I guess I just throw out all preconceptions. Okay, so you're in your 80s.
I'm in my 80s, and I look like I'm in my 30s. It's
Wait, and he kind of
we're
seems to like do the math. He goes, you were born during the end of the Wild West. That's kind of cool.
oh yeah. I was located out way. I was on the west coast at that point, actually. I got to see a lot of the boom of the gold rush, but I don't live out there anymore for reasons. Very familiar reasons.
But yeah, I don't know what's gonna come from this. The Kasha haunting me, I guess. But I, I guess I'm asking if I need help. Can I come to you?
Of course. Now, if you'd like, you have to forgive me. We got on a different set of escapades while you've been gone. I'm a little on the recovery side.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
I think
Points to
it's
the bandages.
weird science stuff.
Okay.
More of Hanzo's kind of neighborhood than mine.
He's not exactly sure what you mean, but he nods anyways.
Or it's like, all right, pluripotent angle things, I think.
Okay.
Something more with that than what you and I are part of. But if you'd like, fire magic tends to be
what
fire
I'm
magic.
part of. No, sorry. He just seems to like realize when you say what we're part of it, he's like, "Oh, I guess that is true now." That kind of expression. But continue. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You let him have those moments. And it's like, no one's just for the record, no one's expecting you to be like magically over this and going back into polite society. The fact that you came back to town is really, really cool, and I'm glad to see you're back. I will help you work through this as best as I can. Trust me, I know a thing or two about accidentally burning down buildings when you're trying to figure out your powers. There's a couple of fires we don't talk about here.
And he kind of laughs at that before getting this look. Is like, "Oh wait, is that something I have to worry about?"
Wait a minute. Did you
I
say
don't
you're
think
from
so.
the West Coast?
I did say I'm from the West Coast.
Did Carlos start the Great Seattle Fire?
Can neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
Can either confirm nor deny these allegations.
Speak to his lawyer.
I don't have a roadmap of notable fires across the country for Carlos's road trip. We don't talk about that.
Carlos accidentally said the Cuyahoga. What's the river? The Cuyahoga? Cuyahoga? I've only seen it read. I've never heard it pronounced.
I have no idea, but
Yeah, I don't know.
The
either.
river in Chicago that got caught on fire.
Fucking
I don't-
hell.
I don't think, as long as you're not stressing it out, it'll be too much of a problem. When I was first learning magic, I kind of had a wild fuck around and find out kind of attitude. Care me not kind of casual kickbackness. And I had that brutally kicked out of me. You've already had that brutally kind of kicked out of you out the gate.
So, well, I mean, you're not wrong there. Also, there was another reason I came by to talk to you. This one maybe a little more. Seems a little embarrassed to bring this up because maybe a little more practical, but part of the deal I made with, well, the courts concerning the whole thing is I have to have, I basically have a probation officer, and one of the things of my probation is saying that I need employment. So, you need a dishwasher or something? Busboy?
We could use a dishwasher. You could do that kind of a thing. But how are you with machinery?
I'm more of that was more my brother's thing, but I do know chemistry. As you remember, they were the ones making the epiphany.
Yeah. You got an knack for chemistry, I remember that. I'll hire you on. Hands down, it's the best excuse.
And I'll be honest, my mom could really use the help. Everything after my brother, I want to help support her a bit more, and this would really help, at least as a starter.
I start my staff out at $10 an hour. It's fine.
And in '92, money is just like, oh, whoa, I made the right choice.
Look, first lesson of advice as a business owner to a kid, you pay your people well so they stay working for you. My waitresses in there earn $10 an hour in tips. They don't have to, like, Darla, love her to death. One of the sweetest people I've ever met. She's a single mom working with 2 kids. I made sure that she took care of it. Hugo, I don't pay him. I'm not sure he's human, but he comes to work every day, and I still give him a paycheck. He just doesn't take him. So I don't know what he does.
And he's like, seems to get at this question, like, then he's like, well, I mean, okay, I think like you're a guy who throws fire, and I'm a guy who with a fire demon in him. So, strange, anomalous chef isn't so weird, I guess.
He came before I got here. I don't know his story. He doesn't talk. He's an Oasis Valley quirk. If I didn't know better, I would have made some really bad accusations.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll have time to get to know him.
I'll have you working in the restaurant just to get kind of the hands on that. Hugo may have you help cook some. Dishwashing will be fine. But if you can help me out here, get the riot up and running, I'll have you staff. I'll have you staff.
It won't be much more than an extra pair of hands, but yeah, I'll help out.
An extra pair of hands is sometimes what I need to cover because I'm a little bit behind. I know I got a hole in my leg, and then I can have you running the ticket booth, which is just an easy cash job. You earn $10 an hour. You can read here as much as you want, and then you can use the backyard area to do chemistry experiments that aren't illegal.
That was also part of a deal I made with my mom, not to exploit my intelligence with ill-advised chemistry experiments, as she put it.
Moms are good for that.
I will admit, I think if kind of gets a little dour for a second, he goes, if this is so fucked up to say, but I think if both me and my brother survived, but we got caught, making drugs, Mom would have disowned us, but I don't think she could handle losing both their sons right now. Like I said, it's a little fucked up to think about, but I try not to think about it. I really got to make it up to her.
You do. But I'll make sure that you can do it, and then we'll help you start learning how to get more comfortable with your stuff. That way you're not worried about, I have a fire demon in my head, what do I do? Do you have a really bad name you can give him for the time being? Like a casual human name.
I see what you write there, and I'm trying to avoid that. And he's like, oh God, damn it! If I knew my, damn it, never mind. He goes, I'll think about it.
Yeah. So it's usually when you get spirit creatures like that, they'll have a name. And 9 times out of 10, they'll hate it when you call them the wrong thing and will tell you, not because they're trying to be clever, but because they're a little bit mad that you're calling them like Carl. You would be surprised how effective this is. But if you're worried about an immediate message, I can try to contact him now. If you're wanting to push that today.
Oh, no. I don't think I'm ready for that just yet. Not so suddenly. But I really don't want anything to do with it, but I guess eventually there'll need to be some kind of communication if we're going to be roommates. And he just seems to be at a loss of like,
you two share a bond that some could say is more closely tied together and intimate than any other kind you could have as a human being.
You make it sound like we're sorry.
No, you're fine. You're not necessarily wrong. You can't. It's kind of a. Do you read comics? You look like you're the age
manga.
that you might. You're okay. I don't read manga.
He does live in a little Japan, and he's Japanese American. So
No, that's fair. He's like, okay.
I'm pretty sure there was Spider-Man with manga.
okay, well here we go. Though
Are you familiar with the character Venom at all?
no from Spider-Man. Oh, yeah.
Or
Guess
Ghost
that's-
Rider.
Yeah. Or Ghost Rider's a good one, actually. I loved Ghost Rider back when it came out.
You got Carnage.
We're not gonna worry about that one.
Carnage is pretty cool.
So, it's kind of like that.
Huh. Okay.
You guys are together for better or worse, so you might as well make the best of it rather than piss each other off, and you'll work out better in the long run.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I'll try.
And I'll be here to help you. You're not alone on how to figure that out. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Of course. I'm just glad we were able to save your life. I'm gonna be honest with you, just because I feel like we're at that kind of point of communication. We weren't sure you were gonna come out of it.
No, I'm pretty sure I died, and somehow I was brought back.
Through a lot of what some could and would reasonably call bullshit. We got it working.
I mean, I'm thankful. It's better being here than not. And he gets
Yeah.
a far off
Well,
look for a second before shaking his head.
don't ask me what's beyond the veil of life and death. I don't know. I've never
Don't ask
tried to
me either.
know. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, as if he suddenly forgot what you were talking about with that exactly goes. So, when should I? When's my first shift?
Tell you what. Let me get my jacket. We'll go walk over and take a look at the schedule.
Okay.
Wonder what Fred's doing. I haven't heard from him in a second.
Oh, he was having lunch with. I'm gonna guess it's his daughter.
Oh yeah,
and
his
the
kids
same
are in town.
colored hair. Okay.
Yeah, I think his daughter's about your age.
She would actually be like 5 years younger. 6 years. She's 15. He's 21.
Oh no, wait, no, she's too young for you. I forgot how old you were.
She is old
Sure.
enough to crush on him, but also young enough for us to want to clamp that shit down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, you go walk over to talk to Hugo.
Yes. Hugo,
hmm,
you remember that
And-
time we talked about how you wanted to have a dishwasher?
He just looks to Soda and he looks him up and down, then gives an approving nod, and doesn't toss him like a rag or anything, but gives an approving nod. You don't even have to continue saying.
Yep. Congratulations, he likes you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Soda's like not sure what just happened.
Trust me, high compliments from him. Here, we can pull the schedule and start so. If you want to start a little bit today, just so that you can tell your mom you're good, we'll mark it down. But your next shift would be Tuesday.
Okay. I actually got to go check in with my mom, but confirming this, I told her I was out looking for a job, so I succeeded, I guess.
Yeah. Look at you.
Well, thank you. And he holds out. He goes to shake her hand, like
Oh, he'll shake it back.
very, he's very appreciative. So,
Yeah.
you now have an undead guy working as a busboy.
Fine.
It's not my first undead staff. There's the night waitress.
Well, no, Night Waitress is not undead. You don't know what her deal is. She is just an anomaly as Hugo.
Just like
The night
your
waitress is
son.
unknowable.
I think she's just
Unthinkable.
human. I think she's
wasn't-
just human.
I thought we had said she was vampire at some point. That's
We
my
don't know
bad.
what the night waitress is, and she
Oh
doesn't say anything.
no, that was the thing. You assume she was vampire at first, but you've seen her like leave her shift when the sun is up, and she just seems to prefer the night shift.
That
'Cause,
shows she's just a really powerful vampire.
Maybe she's just that goth.
Maybe she's like Blade.
Vampire. Anyways, so yeah, Fred, you see Carlos talking to Soda behind the counter, talking about schedules and stuff. So I'm just trying to think if there was anything else with you guys. Fred, I'm trying to let Fred have some peaceful days with his kids before we endanger them. I mean, involve them.
I'm enjoying it. They're gonna have a nice time hiking in a safe place.
Yeah. And Alex comes
Thunder
up saying, because he was hanging out with the kids at the booth as they were finishing up their homework. But when they finish, he comes up to you and goes, "We're gonna go, play. Is that okay, Dad?" So they go out and run around as the twins normally do, and they go show Alex around. But so Tommy,
Yo.
we move from there to you just chilling out at your place.
Yeah, chilling out like a kid in the schoolyard.
Okay. We'll say that this is a little bit later in the day. We're kind of fast forwarding a little bit. It's getting closer to evening. Fred, you and your kids. Well, we can get to this after. You can always see me here. Tommy,
Yo.
you did get stung, but you were treated. But like we said, your monstrous side, it's working through your system faster. So
I'm built different. Some could say I'm built worse.
You're just having a day. Just how does Tommy spend his time when he's just hanging out?
Honestly, sleeping. When you are moving around a lot, anytime you can rest is good time.
Yeah. Do you think Tommy reads, finds tossed away books or whatever?
Yeah. Sadly, most of the time it's just dirty magazines in both senses.
Oh boy. So, well, as you're having a nap, there is that because you're always in that state of, even when you're sleeping, except for the deepest parts of sleep, you're still kind of passively aware of what's happening around you, just out of instinct and habit of always being on the road and living in danger for a lot of your life.
Yeah.
You hear what sounds like the clicking, like the gentle clicking of what might be nails on concrete, but not in like a canine or feline way. And
Okay.
it kind of sounds similar to when you were tracking a certain thieving lizard through the tunnels.
His eye just shoots open.
And standing kind of close to, as if like freezing in place, as if it just got caught, you do see a pale lizard-like figure that was getting ready to creep up onto the platform where you've built your little dwelling.
Yeah, he's going to chase after it.
And as you go to lunge, it holds up both hands and goes, "Wait, Thomas!" As
Did you
hear
really have to
Carnagor.
choose that? Did you really have to choose that form? They steal my food.
I mean, it was a coincidence. Convergent, I guess. I didn't know they were running around here until one of them chased me away from, well, okay, it was a tie. fighting over food. But anyways, is this where you're living? She's like kind of looks around it as you see this like 2 foot long lizard. Uh, the you know it's carnivore because it's the pale scales, the same colored eyes, and kind of the head similar shape, although significantly reduced.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad place. Honestly, the temperature is pretty well here. And I don't have to pay rent, which is nice.
And she kind of like scurries up onto the platform and like does that lizard side eye, just looking at you from one eye, and goes, and you're close to the guy who throws fire.
Yep. The food's good.
Lots of tasty food smells from that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he'd offer you some if you asked politely.
No, it's best only you know I'm here.
Yeah, that's fair. What brings you to my neighborhood?
I wanted to check in on my brother.
That's fair. Yeah.
I hope the rest of me didn't cause too much trouble. It was just
No.
had to make the show of escaping, had to make a show of escaping.
Oh yeah. I'm starting to get memory back, and from what I can tell, that was honestly a good call.
Mm. It really was a weird feeling having another heartbeat
Yeah.
and the pain it could cause when I tried to say no to it.
Apparently, it's connected to something even worse than genetic experiments.
Oh, she kind of tilts her head, looking at you at the other eye this time.
Have you heard of Old Rawhide?
Uh, no.
Okay, imagine a one-story, something about one stories, humanoid, very sharp claws, very sharp teeth, green eyes, pointed ears, and it doesn't look like he has skin.
Hmm. I
And he
was going
has
to
person.
say, sounds like an effective predator, but a lack of skin or hide sounds like a problem.
Honestly, he seems to have been around just fine. He might be, or I say might, seems very supernatural, very boogeyman-esque.
You
Ah.
know he's been around since at least the Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
fucking old.
Well, then I am glad to get a heart taken from him out of me.
Mm,
Thank you, Thomas.
yeah, no problem.
Tommy.
Whichever you feel comfortable with.
And she's kind of perching up on her hind legs, sort of like how a monitor lizard does. Um,
Oh,
but she's looking up at you and is just like, oh, Jesus. Sorry. Cat yelped outside my window and it jump scared me. Sounds like those cats who are always having fights just suddenly scared each other outside my window. Fuck.
They scared themselves, they scared you, everyone's in fear.
Yeah. I'm just gonna close the window. You guys shush. So, she's like kind of looking up at you and they're gonna come for both of us.
Oh, 100%. I haven't seen anything yet.
Wow. The
Wait, would Tommy know about the tortoise being a Flash clone?
Nope.
I don't think anyone's
The group
told
has
you.
been fairly
Split.
like last thing you knew, like you had the encounter with the hunter scorpions, and that was the last thing you knew about. Yeah, the group has been fairly scattered. It's been
Okay.
kind of a little odd for this arc, but
Business as usual. We're going about our jobs.
yeah. And she goes, "Doppelganger, you know he won't let us know he's there until he wants. That's why I'm still this small, easier to
And
hide."
honestly, that's the best thing right now. Because unless you can, even if you can go in water, it being as big as you were is probably a hindrance as of right now.
Oh, probably. But I have been curious about the swamp. And you see her like the scales, like the pale scales she have, they like ripple in color, kind of matching that weird maroonish flesh color of the cistern swamp, like the plant life around there.
Mhm.
She goes, lots of good hunting there, but there is something way deeper, and a large guardian. They would have been fun to fight, but they notice me, but just kind of don't pay me
Yeah,
attention unless I go and look at the mouth. Then
yeah.
they shoo me off like I'm some kind of annoyance.
What was this? What did we decide on the name for him again?
Thundar?
Carlos named him Thundar.
Yeah, that's Thunder.
Carlos named him
We've
Thunder.
encountered him before. He
Ah,
seems to have bonded with Carlos, or at least spoken to Carlos.
hmm.
Also, you remember the middle-aged man?
Is she talking
Like,
about Fred? Are you talking about Fred?
yeah, the very sad-looking, looks like a
Oh, yes,
Reverend dad.
the one who hit me with a bat.
Yeah, Thundar saved him from. Was it
Chupacabra.
Oh,
Chupacabra, actually.
from one of the chupacabras?
Hmm.
So at the very least, he backs up his build.
Interesting. And she nods and goes, I should tell you, Tommy, that I like to go for swims in the river up and down and just kind of explore sometimes. And last night, I saw you track what something out of it. Weird things came crawling out of it. I almost followed them, but you got to them first. But there are other smells like that. You see her reptilian tongue flit out. Um,
Any idea how
things in
many?
the air, not tracks, air trails, something flying,
Hmm.
or some things. And she goes, it smelled like, and she would kind of go, it smelled like all the creations of the doctor. You know what smell I mean.
Yeah, that the heart had the same sort of smell to it.
Mm. And you remember so did the hunter scorpions. And
Oh,
she does the like lizard
Tommy
head bob as a nod of a
Tommy was
nod.
at the diner when they heard about seeing some big bees, right?
Um,
I
yeah, the kids talked about hearing something buzzing. Or no, Fred's kid did. The other two were like, "What? We didn't hear that." But she goes, "Just keep a nose out, Tommy."
Yeah, I have been. And this seems to confirm what I'm fearing. That he seems to be getting more active.
If you learn that he's coming to town, or you learn he's in town, I want to help.
Where would I be able to find you?
The swamp or the river.
Okay.
I may not be big enough to tear him apart, but you see her like mouth gapes as you see what just seeming to warp out of the jawbone. You just see a pair of viper-like fangs extend from the top and the bottom, almost like a four-fanged mouth. And she goes, "I am potent enough to make even him hurt." And then just those fangs fold away.
Mm-hmm. Tommy gets a sharp grin. Excellent, excellent.
Tommy, you have reconnected with your sister?
Question mark?
Yes, it's just she calls you her brother just because you were raised as experiments together. Well, she was. You weren't created. You know, you weren't that. You were captured and then made an experiment.
Right, right.
I wasn't trying to imply something.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So, she'd be like, "I won't be opposed if you bring me tasty things sometimes, but I should, I, wa- I will be going.
Yeah.
Stay
Be
safe,
careful.
Thomas."
You as well.
She goes to scurry off into the darkness. And then you realize, clutched in her hands, there's a candy bar.
You son of a!
And you just hear this weird, it's almost like hearing a parrot copy a human laughter and just echo down into the darkness as she runs off. So
She does treat you like family. She takes your fucking food.
yeah, siblings have no respect for food that's clearly marked as yours. But so let's see. Evening time. Fred.
Yeah.
Kids have a good time. Alex, happy to hang out with the kids. No real big things happen, so eventually they come back in. Carla's gets off shift and she's ready to go home. So kids, the twins go off with her. Tiffany seems ready to leave. She had a good time talking to you. But Alex seems ready to go home as well. Olivia.
Yes.
What would you have done after after this? Would you have gone to talk to Dr. Lucia? Or no, if you went to go talk to Dr. Lucia, George informs you that she has actually, since the call, been in communications. Yeah, she's basically been busy, and he says, probably best to let her just keep at it. And he says, it's like, George, just to keep things brief, he says, "Crazy that you wrote a giant tortoise. I've had the same talk with you before. You got to be careful, but good job." Just basically the same conversation he's had with you many times.
Yeah.
But and he does say it, he goes, "I do like the idea of, he goes, I am warming up to the idea of having the bull tortoise on display as a potential tourism draw, because that would satisfy some of the pluripotent people that are breathing down his neck to try and make a bit, reinforce the tourism draw." Yeah. So he seems satisfied with that. Some of the people around there are like, Olivia, you mad woman, why would you? It's like hearing this story. It's like your coworkers are just like, of course Olivia did that. But
Hey, no scars this time.
Yeah, and people are, it's not like people are upset. There's a lot of people like, wow, Olivia, that's crazy, good job, kind of talking about it. But
One of the
still
workers
that
is, well, at least she didn't bring another stranger back to the reserve. This is
yeah,
a
they don't
zoo,
say that
not a hotel.
Yeah, they don't bring that up in earshot of Olivia.
Not knowingly.
Yeah, well,
Olivia has ears everywhere.
I don't know. Oh, right, the bat ears, the bat hearing. Anyways,
here's all.
So, you basically finish up your shift, doing a lot more than you were expecting when you woke up in the morning. But so yeah, you're free to do what you want. Hanzo, we're gonna switch to you, Hanzo, real quick.
Oh dear.
Partway through the day, you and Johanna Wakefield have kept an ear out. When you called into McLean, he's satisfied with the capture of the mole tortoise, although he does bring up that he goes, apparently, the higher ups are suddenly a chatter about outside interference, but there's also talk about it being a good thing, an opportunity. So, good job, I guess. Additionally, he does say good job and like help, leading to the capture and containment of it. But he goes, good job additionally on that one as well, I guess. He seems a little confused by that, not seeming to realize that it's, but you realize it's what Livia's plan seems to be in motion. But otherwise, no other big deal, no other incidences have happened. But he says you and Wakefield should stay on alert just in case there are other. He goes that tomorrow rest of the day just keep at it, and tomorrow that if you two are to report in and give like a fuller report, just to keep them briefed. But partway through the day, you get a call on your car phone as you're driving, and it goes. You hear when you pick it up, you hear a voice. The voice of Detective Bentley goes, Agent Hanzo, you there?
Speaking.
So, Sauce, congratulations on wrangling a giant turtle. Just want to get that out first. Saw the reports come in. Because eventually some police showed up to help cordon off the area. But he goes, not why I'm calling though. As you realize from just background noise, it doesn't sound like he's calling from the precinct. Yeah, that's what she was standing like. I just looked at the chat.
Standing like a people.
Yeah. So he would go, so, funny thing, you've been working with someone named Agent Wakefield, right?
Yes.
Well, funny thing is, got a notice the police report from an incident last night. They pulled, well, I don't know, he would actually have gotten involved with this because he's doing the other cases. So I got a previous case of mine. This ran into her out dealing with some John Doe, some bodies out in the desert, and it turns out she tracked down what happened. I assume you know this.
I'm sorry. Could you go back about 10 seconds? Someone was trying to speak to me.
Oh, there he goes. So, worked briefly with Agent Wakefield when we were dealing with some bodies found out in the desert, and then got a call last night from her to come in from the precinct, and lo and behold, find her dealing with something called a hunter scorpions. Sure, you know all this. With some of your friends got mixed up in it too. Figures it was not far from the diner, I suppose. But just one thing I needed to. You should know. Wakefield, Wakefield doesn't even know this. I knew about this. I got a tip about a drug lab or an attack happening at a drug lab at an abandoned car wash, and he lists off a time, and you realize that would be right. That'd be before Carlos and Wakefield and Tommy and Winifred tracked it down. That'd be right around, like, just before that happened. And if you had to guess, that would place it before the deaths of the people inside, because they showed up right after it happened. And he goes, someone called and left an anonymous tip for the precinct saying there was a drug lab, a violent happening at a drug lab at an abandoned car wash.
Detective, that is highly suspect.
Yeah, it is.
No, even more suspect than you might think, because an anonymous tip was also put in right before the tortoise was found.
Oh, that is curious. So, that would. These are tied. That is concerning.
Yes, it is. I have reason to believe that these are not just coincidences. Someone is in our town moving and making. Sorry, my brain blanked. Making moves.
Yeah, and he goes, well, that is worrisome. I hate conspiracies.
Do you have experience?
Keep your ears to the ground. If any other similar anonymous tips come in, do you have the means of somehow investigating where it comes from?
That was the thing. From what we could tell, the call came from a public line, payphone most likely. Which, that's what Sheila said happened with the tip she got.
Yeah.
Because
coincidence.
Because she could, there was that Star 69 thing we made a whole thing about previously in the previous arc, but also, I'm pretty sure you could call dial 0 and be operator. Like, what was the previous call?
Mm-hmm. Whoever's behind
Because this was before the time of area codes.
Mm-hmm. Whoever behind this still hasn't been apprehended.
Definitely not. Now,
I'd say make sure your department is ready, because I have a hunch that something's gonna go down.
All right.
Anything else to report?
As of now, not really. No.
Very well. I need to speak with
Other
others.
than those lizards you got, these scorpions, and this turtle, been a quiet week for the most part, beyond just mundane stuff.
Business as usual.
Business as usual.
You'll hang up and immediately dial the director.
Okay. Hanzo, what's up? What do you have for me? You want to go what's up? That's too casual.
Mm-hmm. My collaboration with the local police department is bearing fruit. I just got a tip.
Oh.
Right before the hunter scorpions were found, another similarly anonymous tip was put in.
Oh.
I have
To the police?
advised, yes, I have advised the good detective to ready the department. If my hunch is right, then something big is going to happen.
I hope your hunch is wrong, but
As do I.
this is a troubling pattern.
Yes, we still haven't apprehended
Going
the one
to
behind
that
this.
placing a tip to that reporter, and then placing tips to the police on a violent attack like that. Those are two very well. You and Wakefield are proving your use because if the two of you hadn't been there to cap things off, those would have been very public incidences.
You're
Wait a minute.
welcome.
Director, who reported in the attack at the butchery?
Oh, that would be the the people working there themselves. They got chased out. It goes. That would be the owner, the people working there. They were chased out by the lizards themselves. There was no, as far as I could tell, there was no tip or anything.
Right, making a chance.
Still, I believe that's part of the larger operation. Director, if I might speak my mind,
Of course.
I'll reiterate my belief that everything up until now has been small fry. A couple of hunter scorpions, a generally non-aggressive animal, a couple of jackal lizards. All of them problematic in their own way, but nothing newsworthy. Something that would really get the headlines.
So you're thinking these are the first pebbles before an avalanche.
If they're trying to drag Pluripotent down, yeah. Right before reopening. Can you... Well, I can't give you orders, sir, but I'm just considering...
You can't give me
what...
orders, but you can make suggestions.
Yes. Any particularly dangerous examples of endofauna that somebody might have a genetic sample of? Something that would be newsworthy.
There was that. Oh, wait. So, above table, real quick, Hanzo, because I can't quite recall. Did you write in saying that like in your report in the very beginning, that the group escorted Thundar into the superorganism, or was that left out?
I believe that was left out of the
Okay.
report.
Because there was that very first vultures case you dealt with. Never recover that Sirandra corpse.
Hmm.
That would definitely be that would definitely be newsworthy. Alligator monster emerging from the sewers.
Yes, but is that aggressive enough? Granted, no creature of
Honestly,
this, no endofauna is comfortable up here. They would be ornery.
Honestly, if we didn't know that it was the vultures, I would say that the chupacabras getting loose would probably be these people, but
Ooh. Yeah, like a bunch of chupacabras. That's like.
Yeah, no, that's what he was about to say. You would go.
Sorry.
Honestly, if it was me, make something flashy and instantly recognizable. Unleash a bunch of clone chupacabras. hungry ones.
At that scale, that would be... Because so far, everything has been either a lone creature or small scale if they're in numbers. Something of that scale, I think, might be easier to notice. We need to keep our eyes out.
Well, I'm not one of the biotech people, but from what I gathered from Dr. Apostu's notes and reports on the tissue samples, comparing them between the clone jackal lizards and the mole tortoise sample that you and Wakefield brought in, it seems that smaller things that don't have to grow as much suffer less when flash clones, which I guess makes sense. There's less mass for it to deal with.
Is there anything on the schedule, any particular event that would be worthwhile crashing?
Oh, take your pick. There's the water park reopening. There's public park getting remodeled. There's all kinds of things. This thing with the preserve now. All right, no, he didn't know those details, but also you might think that would probably fall into as a potential target in the future.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, or no, he would just say the preserve is always a big target.
I will murder their face.
He goes, honestly, we need. Well, what people are, what the higher ups are worried about the way this looks so far, without, from the public's knowledge of what they know of what's happening. This looks like we're falling asleep at the job. We're letting endofauna slip out, and in the worst case, if the news of the hunter scorpions gets out, it may look like something we made got loose. Yes, it may look like we're in the business of bioweapons.
Are we, sir?
I'll keep you posted, sir.
Keep at it, Hanzo. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, he'll hang up.
Yeah, that happened at some point during the day. If you want, you could talk to Wakefield and catch her up on that. Although what you discussed was pretty much what you both knew already.
He will, he'll let her know about the secondary tip if she doesn't already. But aside from, we don't need to role play that.
Yeah, she would basically be like the same thing. It's just like, oh, okay, this is definitely pointing it to someone, a wider conspiracy. Right. Just kind of reaction. It's more like if you weren't getting more used to her, it almost seemed like she's more annoyed at more work for us than any concern at what that might be. But you get the feeling that she conceals her things behind her sarcasm a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But so rest of the evening, nothing really happens. Winifred, you wake up eventually. Fred and the kids would be home by that point, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. Sunset comes. Still, I think we are in like early April.
Something like that.
I think by this point. So yeah, it's not like super late when the sun goes down. And so I'm just trying to think of what would happen next.
Olivia buys her baby girlfriend blood coffee.
Okay. You meet her at her place, or would you go into the preserve when she's started her shift?
Yeah, she'll be waiting at the preserve for her to get there. with like
Okay.
that and a bag of like donuts.
Okay, yeah, you've been hanging out waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also waiting to see if Lucille wanted to talk at some point.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Lucia, she's been busy. There would be a point where you would have been able to talk to her if you want to do that real quick.
All right.
I mean, so she's just like seems tired and
Hey,
long
Doc.
day. Olivia, you always bring me such interesting things, situations.
Would you believe there's more?
Yes, I can. But I mean, there's obviously something more going on if there is a flash clone mole tortoise loose in loose in redemption. So
Yeah.
something more is going on.
We got some corporate espionage.
Lovely.
We've got that big fella.
She wanted to say lovely. She was just kind of like this disgruntled face, just frowning.
Yeah. We got that big fella who had a tip called in about him before me or Hanzo's new partner found out.
So someone knew they were going to be there.
Yeah.
Why they knew,
And you know
or
who
are
they told?
controlling where it went.
You know who they told? Pluripotent's least favorite reporter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her article about the mole tortoise emerging and some of her other articles. She hasn't really been a Pluripotent's biggest fan either.
No. And you know, I get it. But, you know, at this point, I'm not sure if it's going to do more, if that's doing more harm than good.
Well, Olivia, I know I've said this many times before, but if we're getting caught up into, please be careful. You're telling me this is corporate espionage involving homunculi and clones. Wait, no, you haven't said homunculi yet. You don't know about the
No.
hunter scorpions. She goes, you're talking about industrial espionage involving flash clones. There are only, or at least I hope there are only a certain amount of groups and entities that are able to even accomplish that. Normal cloning is difficult enough, and to learn that something I helped invent, the process of, is being used to terrorize my town, that's.
Yeah.
You know, it was the Fossick twins and Connor Niven, or Dr. Niven, that were the ones credited with inventing the cloning technology.
But
Or at least advancing it, because cloning was a technology beforehand, but they're the ones who like made the major breakthroughs.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Doc.
I mean, that's one of the things they try to teach you about science and great discoveries is just like Pandora, you can't put it back in the box.
Hey.
Once it's out in the world, it's out in the world. And that's what I try to tell myself. That
if you hadn't, someone else would have done it, and no guarantee they'd have your moral.
There's definitely a guarantee they don't have my morals.
Or they would have done something boring like clone a sheep and name it Dolly.
Well, okay, Dolly was an accidental cloning.
This is fair.
Dolly was a happy accident.
I hope me getting the idea to have our turtle friends come here wasn't undue stress on you.
Oh no, Olivia, it's stress I don't mind because honestly, I maybe it's a little selfish of me, but I do want to take a personal closer look at this mole tortoise.
Oh,
See what it was made. See how it was made.
Olivia pulls out the spike.
Oh, you have it in like a specimen baggie.
Yeah,
She goes, oh. She takes it.
I saved you a souvenir.
Oh wow, it was like these. And she like looking through the plastic at the the root of the scale. She goes, these are normally almost impossible to rip off a healthy mole tortoise.
No, yeah, this was just in the dirt. Not even like.
Yep. Sign of degradation is deterioration of connective tissues. It's like scurvy.
Yeah. Thing was starving too. It ate.
Oh, that's one of the things about being a flash clone is, it's kind of hard to flash clone healthy fat reserves. They're almost always come out of the pod starving.
Fuck.
Hmm?
Has Olivia brought up simulacra to her?
I think so.
Yeah, I think there was a point where
With a
Olivia was like, "Hey, get all this shit
carnivore.
going on."
Yeah, because you brought in carnivore pieces.
Yeah, running carnivores.
Tail and arm, I think, while the body got eaten by, or you don't know if Thunder ate the rest of carnivore or just took it into the superorganism for the, probably jackal lizards and other scavengers to tear it apart,
Yeah.
or just throw it into a mouth in the wall.
Do you think this could be simulacra?
It kind of gets this like contemplative look. It could be, but it feels too public. It feels too blunt.
Maybe, but they're also getting people to point fingers at each other. Getting pluripotent to get pissed at the reporter, who's going to get pissed back at pluripotent, who's getting pissed at their agents, who are getting pissed at the reporter. I'm stuck in between both of those. Like, there's definitely more.
I love my brothers, but be careful upsetting pluripotent. Kieran may be the CEO, but there are many decisions that are made without his knowledge. One of the reasons why I left, and I keep telling my other brother to leave.
I know. Like, at this point, they know who I am. They know I'm not their biggest fan. But
I'm just saying, Olivia, if Kieran knows about you, I don't think he would move against you because he knows you're important to me. Kieran, for all his flaws of being a capitalist asshole, he's still my brother. But my other brother, I know, he knows about you. I've talked to you about, mentioned you to him. He would never do anything to you. I trust him with my life. I mean, he's my twin. But
yeah,
there are people in pluripotent that would not hesitate.
I'm not trying to go out of my way to pin a target on my back.
Please.
But I couldn't just I couldn't let them kill this turtle who was just born to suffer.
Yes, and honestly, Olivia, I almost called. DM almost called you Lucia. It's like, wait, no, she is Lucia.
That's what Mommy did.
Yeah, she would go, honestly, Olivia, my brother would. It's not really, this wouldn't really be his. I mean, if he made it his interest, he could do it. He's had research, so he'd be able to take over any project, really. But for all of Thor Potent's flaws, I do think they would try to take care of it if it, it was in their power. I mean, and if it wasn't, it was a cost-effective, if it wasn't too cost exorbitant. But by making it a public thing like you have, that would lead them, lean on them to make that public donation of support. That makes them look good.
That was my thought.
You know what they say, charismatic megafauna.
Yeah. He's such a charismatic fella, Lucille. He had such a face.
Are you talking about the turtle?
Yes.
It occurs to me that you guys want to, house this turtle. That's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
That's a lot of meat.
It's like they're with the inventor of clothing, and one of the big inventions of pluripotent that probably isn't very popular is cloned meat. Vat meat.
Oh yeah.
Cloned meat for the cloned animal.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's not just meat. Like we said, it's a specific organ cluster that they really go for. They do supplement it with some of the other organs and meats in the superorganism. But I mean, you can eat. I shouldn't be going too much into logistics yet, but it wouldn't be too hard, I guess, to either clone it or have it harvested. But yeah, no, that's going to be a logistics thing for them to figure out.
My concern is, how are you going to keep it?
Yeah, that was raised earlier. It's going to be a.
Because
see, that's the thing. Narrative is going to figure it out. I don't have to worry about it. The narrative is going to do it. I don't have to worry about the details.
It's a burrowing tortoise the size of a van.
I know. There's no way this would be containable normally, but this is a fantasy.
Exactly. I just imagine one of the NPCs who has to figure this out is just sitting there at their desk. It's a tortoise the size of a fucking van. It goes through concrete. How the fuck do we keep it?
There's a reason I brought it up earlier.
Eventually, where a monster chases me to my haven, and I am running from them and lead them into a room as they're looming, going to eat me, and then the lights turn on and there's the mole tortoise.
Look. All I'm saying is you have a potential secret base to do Dino Crisis in your basement. We're gonna eventually do a Dino Crisis or a Jurassic Park. The MOA is going to get out.
I mean, just before I know what's in the lower levels of the preserve.
Carlos doesn't know.
Go down there.
Gray knows. Gray
goes. No, Gray doesn't know. No one knows what's down there.
No one knows what's down there. But we're
I could just imagine Olivia just if one of us brings that up to Olivia, it's well, that's not my problem to figure out.
No, it will be. If you think that there's something down there that could be bad, she will go out of her way to know.
No, I mean containing the beast.
Oh no. Yeah.
Also,
blindly suggesting, yeah, we can put it on exhibit and everything.
Yeah, Tommy.
Yes.
Also, that Nora bringing up she goes down into the exhibit when a monster is chasing her. That's basically what happens in Primeval with the mammoth. They catch the mammoth and then later it comes out to save the director.
Yeah, busting through.
You're not wrong.
Oh yeah, didn't you say mammoths are canon? Or no, that's something they haven't done yet, but they talk about
it. There was. Okay, so I think it was that there was a report that Russia was getting ever closer to completing their Mammoth cloning project, because Russia, of course, has their own, they Cold War. They would have been like, oh, these Americans are researching into biotech. Well, of course we have to. And actually, that's actually what Dr. Apostu said. She was involved with Russian biotech research before she was poached by Potent. That was the cover story she gave. You don't know how long she's been a simulacra lackey.
I'm just no one's built for the Russian superorganism.
I mean, she did say you think this is the only one, but that could have been her bullshitting.
No, you're not ready for the one in the Siberian traps.
What do you think happened at Tunguska? It burped.
Just the base boosted MP4 file. Millions dead.
So,
anyways.
Yeah, like I want to keep Pluripotent honest.
You and me both.
I'd rather have them here than something like Simulacra.
Oh, yes. Simulacra got control. That would be...
Look, at that point, I'd be...
Oh, that's bad.
I'd become
like a night.
guerrilla
Thank you for that
inside.
nightmare, Olivia.
At that point, I'd become like a guerrilla fighter inside the superorganism.
She laughs at that. Because, well, it's been a long day, Olivia. I've made my case to my brothers. Kieran seems open to the idea of... I mean, he kept pressing me last time I talked to him about opening the preserve up for more tourism stuff. So, I mean, I guess this will throw him a bone in that. And, might be enough to get the funding we need for building an enclosure for mole tortoise.
Yeah, and that would get us more people coming to see the animals.
And I am going tomorrow to meet with my brother to and I think he's using it as an excuse for us to catch up, but I'm going to go personally inspect the mole tortoise at the lab the whatever they call it that they have it at now.
And well, not imposing, just offering, but if you need any
backup
moral
bodyguard
or backup or whatever, let me know. I'll come with you if that's a thing.
George offered the same thing.
Aw.
No. Thank you, Olivia. And we don't have an employee of the month that you don't have to keep trying so hard. You know that, right? She says with a laugh. And you hear like a sleepy chirp from where Eli is sleeping in his bird cage. It seems like maybe you're being a little loud for him. She's like, okay, Eli says we're being too loud.
Yeah. Sorry, Eli.
Chirp.
I'll give
I
you
can't do a parakeet chirp.
I'm gonna go wait for it before I head out.
And she's like, she might already be here. I think her shift started recently. She looks at the clock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I need to go get lunch. Or is it dinner by this point? She goes and heads off to the cafeteria.
Olivia.
So, let's see. Just trying to think if there was anything else before we switch to this. No. Everything else I have planned would be the next day. So yeah. Not to spoil things, but we're getting close to Cinderella time.
Yeah.
So
just Olivia giving her maybe girlfriend snacks doesn't need to happen on screen.
Well, that was actually something. It actually leads into something that I had planned.
Oh.
So you go with your bag of treats and oh, sorry.
Coffee.
Yep, and sorry, I had to take a
Knocks
drink.
on the door frame.
Yeah, and when you step into the workshop, because the mechanic's garage, you see Itzel's standing there, and seems like she's talking to some guy you don't recognize. Guy in a fairly decent, but nondescript dark suit.
Oh.
Japanese fellow has like a scar on his
Oh.
chin, and Itzel's just kind of scowling with her arms crossed. And when she sees you step in, she's like, "I'll be with you in a second, Olivia. Just give me a second." And she looks back and in lowered voices is trying to talk to him, and this guy glances at you. You don't see his eyes because he's like wearing these dark sunglasses. Kind of reminds you of Hanzo, but this guy's a little
similar
even
vibe,
even surlier. He seems even surlier than Hanzo, if that was possible.
Olivia, holding the bag in the same hand, she does like a little 2-finger salute at the guy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and he doesn't react to that. Just head turns back to her, and they're talking, and you see him. Itzel's shaking her head, and seems like she's trying to deny something, or just she seems frustrated and very annoyed. But this guy just very calmly, then he goes, kind of reaches into his jacket, and you see Itzel tense, her arms unfolding, and then he just pulls out a business card and hands it to her. He goes, "We'll be in touch. Consider what can be done." And guy turns and
are you
pauses.
Giving my coworker trouble?
Of course not. And
Itzel?
And she goes, "No, that's fine. He's just leaving, aren't you?" He goes, "Of course. Have a good evening, Itzel." And he looks to you and goes, and he's seems like he's searching for, there's a moment where he just seems to be looking at you for a second before he nods. He goes, "Miss?"
Sir?
I don't mean to imply he was being transphobic. It was more
No. He was looking for a name tag.
Yeah, no, he was taking you in for a moment, remembering your face. You get that sense he's just okay, putting you in the memory file kind of
okay
vibe.
Yeah, look at all my fucking big ass scars that I've gotten from animals and monsters. You ain't shit.
Yeah, but so he goes and departs, and Itzel just looks at the business card, scowls, folds it in half, and shoves it in a pocket. Fucking bastards.
Olivia comes over, holding the coffee and treats. I have early night refreshments.
Thank you. She takes it, takes the True Blood, pours it into the coffee. Wait, no, it would be the blood coffee that you.
Yeah.
She's yep. She's thank you. And she's just
Olivia has
scowling in the direction that he left.
Yeah, Olivia has with each time she's gotten Itzel snacks and stuff, tweaked what she's brought every time when she knows more and more of what Itzel likes. It's oh, she likes this kind of coffee. Okay. Oh, okay. She likes this amount of blood to coffee ratio.
She's just I was done with this bullshit. I really shouldn't say, but you were involved with it anyway, so.
I am?
Well, you don't even know what I was about to say. She kind of gives you this patience. She goes, he apparently representing some people that had a business agreement with a certain group I used to run with before my incarceration. because of my incarceration. You know who I'm talking about.
Her face, she scowls immediately.
And she kind of like glances around. She goes, Doc Lucy has been a real stand-up person, and so is George about, not letting anybody else know about my history here. I don't really want to bring it up,
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently, Coyotes had some kind of deal that, well, now that they're either dead or in jail, standing trial, deal kind of fell through, so they were wondering if I might be able to pick it up.
What did they want? This could be tied to the Epiphany then, maybe?
That would be my guess. They were looking for possibly someone that could. You know what the Coyotes did? They were smugglers. They were looking for someone who known for taking long rides down off to the coast to make deliveries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's Olivia. Now Olivia scowls in the way he went. What? And that guy was what? Their Hanzo?
I want to say that to him, but yeah, that was kind of the vibe I got. Definitely someone who's used to getting their way because of fear. You can just tell it's the same way the Coyotes would have operated. But this guy, I don't know.
You think he's dangerous?
Oh, definitely. Like, you saw how he
Do I
tensed up. He was carrying a gun, probably more than one.
That's the vibe I got from your reaction.
You could see the shoulders, the shoulder holster when he opened his jacket.
Fucking bring a gun into my place of work?
You've invited
And
Hanzo into your place of work.
Yeah, and she kind of gets this like sheepish look. She goes, "I mean, I have one," and she nods to where her motorcycle is, and like there's like the saddlebags.
Hey, you were invited.
But
that is.
Oh goodness!
Excuse me.
The sand cat's call from across the preserve.
You were invited and allowed here to bring, your stuff. You're fine.
No, I get it.
He's just some random fuck who wants to try and intimidate you.
I don't know about intimidate. I think he was trying to hire me.
I mean, are the two mutually exclusive?
Well, it takes a lot to intimidate me, so.
Good.
Anyways, please don't mention this to Lucia or George.
No.
I have no interest in this. I'm out of that life. Spending time in prison as a vampire was hell enough.
I can imagine.
But
Olivia brings up a hand, but waits for consent before she touches her.
She doesn't stop you.
She doesn't stop me?
Yeah.
She'll then put the hand on her shoulder and just give her a reassuring squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
He seems to appreciate it.
If he comes back again or starts giving you trouble, we'll have rough him up for you.
No, that'd be funny.
That's how you get shot to death in an alley.
Shut up, Hanzo. You're not here.
I don't know, this guy. Fucking. Yeah, I hope I never see him again.
Hey, well, yeah. What about... Maybe that's Hanzo. Maybe he's got, knowledge from being in the spook business. Did he give you a name?
Yeah. She pulls out the crumpled up business card. All right, here's the English. Mr. Kanzaki.
You want to keep that card, or
What, you want it?
I mean, show it to Hanzo. You know, he reads Japanese.
Sure. She hands it over. And you see it looks to be a business card. And there is, on the back of it, there is like uh, a logo of what looks to be like a bird swooping in front of a flower.
Oh, well, the picture's nice.
Yeah, something about the Lotus Group, or I don't know. That's what I'm guessing. I can't read I don't read Japanese. If it was Spanish, no problem.
Yes, I am.
But yeah, no, I bird lotus. I don't know.
Hey,
And yeah,
well,
on the front you see written in Japanese the name, and then beneath it Kanzaki.
Saki. Hey, you're as welcome here as the rest of us. It's all.
Of course,
Don't let someone like that make you doubt that.
I know, Olivia. Like I said, I'm putting that part of my life behind me. Or she kind of gets this look. It's like, are my undeath behind me? But I think I'm just gonna focus on fixing up that engine. And she nods to like one of the parked trucks with the hoods up and the engine's like partially like it's been lifted out partially.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be sure to wreck a truck next time so you have more work.
Please don't.
I know, don't worry. I did ride a boat for us today though.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like it wasn't like in the moment it wasn't I want to do something cool. It was I need to save this tortoise. But in retrospect, that was really cool.
Wait, no, she wouldn't have heard about it. It wouldn't be public knowledge yet. She goes,
"Oh yeah,
damn." She would just be like, "Oh damn," and then like listen to you talk about it. So
yeah,
but yeah, you catch up with her.
yeah.
She seemed hanging out with you as she's like getting to work, talking with you a bit. Seems to definitely calm her down after being so pissed off talking to this Kanzaki guy.
Good.
But let's see, we're a couple minutes away from I almost said Christmas time. No, it's too early for that. From Cinderella time, it was the sea. So sorry you didn't really do anything, Winifred.
It's fine.
I'm sorry, it just all took place during the day today. I'm sorry. Next session things will be more involved for everybody. But
You're fine.
I do have a stinger before we end. Unless anyone wanted to do something, in the evening, just wanted to chime in real quick if you had something you wanted to do before we end for the night.
Nah, I want to talk to Hanzo tomorrow. Maybe go through the seal, but
Okay, so no one had anything to add. We'll go to the stinger, where as the metaphorical camera leaves the preserve where Livia's chatting with Itzel, goes to follow the dark rental car that leaves the parking lot. As inside, Yuji Kanzaki picks up the car phone. It's a nice rented car. Probably rented all the way from Phoenix, honestly. But the guy in Japanese, but translated for your convenience, goes, spoke to the vampire biker. Don't think she's gonna be on board. No, she does. She claims she doesn't know where the missing epiphany is, but can't tell if she's telling the truth or not. If she was saving face for coworker showed up. but you know how it goes. No, I don't think Hanzo will be a problem. If he is, well, all the worse for him. And as he continues his conversation, the camera kind of pulls out of the car. He stops at a light, and you know the windows are slightly rolled down because of the it's a nice evening. You know, he goes, going to be heading out to meet the other contacts, see if they're more agreeable. What is that? As he starts, you know, as he's like parked at this red light, no other real car, he's just waiting. As he starts hearing this buzzing drone, just
Oh shit.
probably a bee or something, and then the car drives off as this something latches onto the car and then crawls in through the back window. That is where we're going to leave off.
Oh dear.
The bees.
I was gonna make
All
a
of
joke
the
and he stops at the
bees.
traffic light, and then a luchador lands on his